This is a Tape Deck podcast.
Hello and welcome back to We'll Run For. This is your host Tom, and with me as always are Erin.
Hello.
Michael.
Hachi, Machi.
Oh, God.
Oh my God. And Diana.
No, I don't like it. It was so weird.
That was awesome.
Oh, my God. Michael and his
hated it.
voices.
Fantastic.
You should have been in the room while he was recording it. The look I was giving him the whole time.
So, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Michael posted a Goal Getters post and did some audio.
If you don't listen to it, if you don't listen, turn your sound up.
You gotta have the audio.
You have to go back and listen to the audio of it. It's insanity.
It was so gross. I was uncomfortable. I was like, is it just going to breathe like this the whole time?
Oh, God.
I think I heard it. We were on a walk with the dog, and I was like, oh, this is probably going to be funny. And I opened it, and I think I just screamed, ew. Like,
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you typed to us, too.
Ew. That was probably an amazing sound in your headphones.
Oh, my God. So terrible.
I started to say this before we started recording, but we've been at this for over a year now, right? And that's the best thing that you've contributed to this entire podcast.
including the editing.
Including publishing and pushing out this podcast.
And doing the actual work.
That was fantastic.
I would like to disagree with that being the best thing. Oh, gosh.
Agree to disagree.
So what have you guys been up to?
What have we been up to? We've seen a lot of concerts recently.
Oh my gosh, you've been going like crazy.
Yeah. I saw.
Go ahead.
So not to get into a vaccination conversation, but man, are we testing the effectiveness of that vaccine? I'll tell you that, because we've been to several places where there were thousands of people.
Well, it was Diana's birthday, right? So like that weekend, you guys did like 2 concerts and like the Guinness thing, right?
I don't know. I was exhausted. I was so cranky.
Yeah, we did all that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in most of the shows we saw were at Merriweather. They checked vaccine cards there. And I feel like they checked them at Guinness, too. Didn't they check our vaccines at Guinness?
I believe they did, yeah.
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 So more places are doing that. And then last night we actually saw Alanis for her 25th anniversary Jagged Little Pill tour, which was awesome. She sounded so great. Like, if she's coming near you, go see her. It was incredible.
She was supposed to play tonight in New Jersey, but it got canceled because of the hurricane.
The insane weather?
The post-tropical Ida.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy around here.
Yeah, we had some crazy tornadoes tonight in the New Jersey area. I feel like we live in Tornado Alley now because this is like July 29th, I think they said, was the day we had 8 touchdown. And tonight they're saying there was one that pretty much just stayed on the ground and ripped through county after county. It just
through Pennsylvania back into New Jersey.
They say that it like stopped. It like pulled up off the ground for a little while, but then came right back down, and it was the same tornado the whole time.
Oh,
and like
my
there's just
God.
huge funnel clouds. It's like nothing I've ever seen in New Jersey.
That's insane.
So yeah, Alanis didn't play today.
For good reason.
Yeah, for good reason. Well, she sounded amazing.
Know a lot of people who are going to that concert.
Yeah, she sounded so great. And she just, I don't know, she's got such control over her voice. It's so interesting, like, how she would pull the mic away from her mouth and have it closer for certain things. And I don't know, she sounded just like her album. She has also reached the level of famous that I would like to achieve, because she was on stage with like sneakers, basically like workout pants, like baggy workout pants, and like a men's extra large t-shirt.
And nobody cared.
No, she looked. Everyone's like, "You look amazing!" Like, it was awesome. She looked so great. And Garbage opened for her.
Yeah. Well, we were in Disney while you guys were all concerting the last few weeks. We flew. We had an adventure actually flying down because our flight got canceled. We were flying out of Baltimore.
Got canceled as we were leaving the house.
Canceled as we're
at least
in the
you
car.
didn't drive to Baltimore.
No,
we were
that's
on
true.
the way.
Because we had just pulled out of the parking lot, and I'm like, our flight got canceled.
But you could have been here, and it got canceled.
It could have been way worse.
We could have been. And they rescheduled us. It was supposed to be a 5 p.m. flight. They rescheduled us for 1 p.m. the next day.
No.
And I'm like, no. So we were close enough that we're like, while I was on the phone, he drove to Philly.
To the
because we're
airport,
I'm looking at the flights out of Philly. I'm like, there's a 5-something flight out of Philly. So he's like, well, we could get there and see what happens. So we went there and we managed to get on that flight, which then got delayed. And then
was there weather?
Not really us, but I think there was some in down south.
We're really not sure what happened, but that flight ended up getting delayed 3 hours.
Yeah,
we finally get into the plane. It's ready to take off. We're taxiing. We make a weird turn, and I'm like, I don't think we're taxiing on the regular runway anymore. And then we make another turn, and I'm like, there's an airplane right there. I'm pretty sure we're going back to the gate.
Yep.
And I turned to Michael and said, I'm pretty sure we're going back to the gate. He's like, what? I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're going back to the gate. And 3 seconds later, the captain came on and said that we were going back to the gate.
Oh my God. How late was it?
At that point, because it was 8 o'clock when we were taking off. So at that point, it was 8:15.
Okay.
And then we sat at the gate for a full hour.
Oh God.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah, we got in around midnight, I think.
Yeah.
At least it was you got in. That's, I think, better than waiting to the next day, you know?
Well, he started talking about we were just going to drive. If we couldn't get a flight, he's like, we're in the car. I'm just going to drive.
What else were we going to do? We weren't going to wait till the next day.
Because if we had to wait till 1 p.m., honestly, we would have already been there.
Yeah. Also, while in Orlando, we saw Greg in Orlando.
Oh, yeah, it's true. We did.
Oh, we have to go. Tom's never been.
I really want to go.
We've got a reservation. It's so funny because I haven't canceled either yet for after Space Coast. We weren't sure if we wanted to do Disney or Universal after, so we have hotel reservations at both.
Well, you should come to Disney because that's where we'll be.
No, well, we're not. I don't think we're doing an annual pass, so.
It's a fun place. I like the Harry Potter stuff a lot because it was less crowded than normal.
I like the Harry Potter stuff, yeah.
We got on the what's the Forbidden Forest ride? I mean, we literally walked through that castle all the way through the castle with no line.
Oh wow!
I got a clear shot of Dumbledore's the turn room that turns. The eagle, the phoenix statue. There was no one in its space.
That's so crazy.
So, Michael. Do we have any new 5-star reviews?
Oh my God.
1 or 2?
Yeah, you've been running a lot,
5
Tom.
or 6.
Here's what happened. We asked for reviews. I said if we get 5, I would register for Rockin' the Knob, and we got 12. We got 10 new ones on Apple, and then 2 from Android users. Who I absolutely, without prejudice, love Android users. It is superior technology. It in no way helps people find this show, but I really, really, really appreciate all of our Android users.
How'd they get this to you? They write it on like a rock and then threw it through the window?
So I heard from Jessica Garand that if you use Podcast Addict on Android, so go download Podcast Addict. You can leave a review there. But because all of us have Apples, you would have to screenshot it to us so that we know that it's there.
That's all.
That's all.
That's simple.
Podcast Addict. That's how you do
That's
it.
very simple.
Again, we love our Android users. We love everybody that has left a review. Me and
Tom.
I'm going to die on that hill.
There are
I'm gonna
unbelievable.
die on that.
12 reviews. You asked for 5. What are you doing for the other 7 people so that they feel like their contribution
He's rocking the knob for him.
was worth it? No, that was for the first 5 people.
Well,
What's,
they're getting their 5 miles. I started doing 10Ks for them, and then I scaled it back to 5 miles. So anybody that leaves us a review, I'll run 5 miles.
Yeah.
That's the deal. Hey, that's the deal. That's what
feel
I had
like
agreed
there's
to.
some people who felt cheated because their review didn't count towards the 5.
It all counts towards.
They're like, I would have saved my review to make him do something worse.
Oh, well, that's pleasant, and I appreciate
They can look. People can read. You can go on there and see that there are other reviews.
Oh my god.
Actually, they do take a little while to pop up, so I do think
do
that
they?
was.
Yeah,
they take a little
that's
while
all.
to pop up.
Oh,
So if they were
God.
all doing it at the same time, they might not have known.
All right, well, let's get into these reviews.
This is my favorite one.
The rocking the knob review segment, unofficially, Allegheny Trail Runners rocking the knob race. So we have Anna Runs on Coffee's son. It's titled Troll. My mom is raising fantastic trolls. We love the podcast and we love trolling even more. Pack your bags, Tom. You have a race to run from one Tom to another. Keep being cool.
That's cute.
That's awesome.
I love it.
That's a good one. Disney S. Cruise, Susanna. Mm-hmm. It's free, giving Tom a reason to run rocking the knob. It's true. It's a good point. Love the podcast and the hosts are great. Disney Runner 1681, Main Street Miles Meg. Entertaining podcast. I love listening to your podcast on my runs or walks. Y'all bring so much energy and humor to each show. Thanks. Keep up the great work. Can't wait to hear about Tom's run of the longest, hilliest 10K. I think you're going to have a blast, but that's just me. I mean, you'll be in pain, but you will have a blast. And you're like, that was something different and fun. Norman, great running podcast for all levels. I've been running for a while, but the pandemic really slowed down my cross training, which has slowed down my running pace. Listening to these hosts talk about refocusing their efforts is inspiring me to try and refocus mine. I find myself always looking forward to the next episode. Keep it up.
Do we know who that is?
I do not.
I do not know who that is.
Tom will run into somebody at a party who
Will tell him. Yes.
Also, can I just say that party we ran into and that guy that screamed at us, that was like a wake. That wasn't like a party. Like
And when I talked about it, I said we were at a friend's house.
Oh my god. It was a wake.
It was a celebration of life.
Oh man. It was an Irish wake. Hopefully.
Yep. Oh, it was. There was lots of booze.
Let us know who you are.
Hot fa or faux. I don't know how they want to pronounce it. I hit the pause button. I realized I loved listening to y'all when I had to do something noisy in the kitchen and hit the pause button so I wouldn't miss anything. Can't wait to see you at Rockin' the Knob. Oh, is that
Baltimore
Han?
Moorhan? Yes.
Thank you.
I would think so.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Since we're supposed to see her at Rockin'
She's
the Knob.
doing the half marathon Rockin' the Knob.
Confirm
that's
with
awesome.
us if it's you.
Yeah. Daniel Powell.
The one who Michael
I blocked?
blocked and deleted from our Instagram.
Who I infamously blocked on the Instagram. Make Tom rock the knob. Just a fun group of beer-loving Disney people who also get sidetracked into running. One of my favorite running companion podcasts. It's like having buddies to run with. Jessica Grand. Excellent. Highly recommend this podcast. I look forward to each episode and bring the gang along with my long runs. Instantly, I feel like I'm part of the group hanging out with friends. Often listen to the podcast on the long runs. I find myself laughing and commenting along with them. They make even the hardest runs enjoyable, and time goes by quickly. I would give them 6 stars, but as they just insulted my Android phone, they got 5 stars. As such, I requested Tom wear a sparkle skirt in his 10K race. I don't know if you want to add that kind of extra difficulty to what is going to be difficult.
Wearing a sparkle skirt? I might wear. What is difficult about a sparkle skirt? It's just.
Someone will be able to find your body easier.
Do they make one that has like a satellite beacon in it?
Yeah. It reflects the light for the flashlights.
On the last episode, Tom had not officially signed up because at that point we had only had a few, I think the 3 reviews at that time. And so the other reviews literally dropped like the day after we recorded. So, Tom, you're officially signed up.
I am.
Did you look at the course elevation map?
I did. So
it's down. It's down.
It is very much for the first 3 miles. You're going downhill, and then there's an aid station, and then an incredible hill. Like
Tom, that is
like
the
a
aid station.
ridiculous hill.
That is the aid station where I cursed at some poor guy.
I had to apologize.
Do we have to relive that you're a terrible person?
Yes.
Because that downhill was actually kind of hard at the end there because we had been going. I mean, on the marathon course, that aid station is at like mile 23, to be fair to me.
I don't know if it's that far along, is it?
It's halfway through the 10K, so it has to be.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, because it's the last 10K of the marathon.
Okay. I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, so it's the last aid station that you come across. So I think it might be like mile 2 point something, but it's pretty close to the end there. And that is the last aid station. That is definitely the one that I cursed at the poor dude and told him to leave me the F alone.
Well, we convinced our friend Kate to do it too. So she signed up, and so we're going to drive up the night before, and we got a room at the same hotel that you guys are staying at.
Yep. So we
we
got
can
Greg
all-
from Orlando coming in.
Yeah,
We can all
Greg's gonna be with
commiserate
us.
together.
Yep. I started looking up, I found a brewery and a tavern-ish kind of place a little bit south of the hotel, so maybe we can have a pre-race dinner.
I wanted to see you guys off because I don't know how the day is going to go, and obviously we're going to be done before you because you guys are doing a
Yes.
marathon and we're doing a 10K. But I wanted to be able to see you guys when you go out at I think 8 a.m. and then we go out at 10. So
Okay.
yeah, I didn't want to have to deal with that drive really early on Saturday.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm just
Well,
going to
that's
assume
nice.
that you guys have died, so we're just going to probably leave after our race and come home. But
Well, we do have to get back pretty
Yeah,
quickly
yeah, we're not
afterwards,
staying.
unfortunately. But
Yeah, Greg is. We're driving Greg back. We're picking him up at the airport literally on Friday, driving out there, and then staying overnight, and then Greg's staying in Philly for a night. So
Yeah,
I might go hang out with him on Sunday in Philly.
good idea.
Oh,
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So he's never done Philly or been to Philly, so he's gonna do the Philly things. Anyway, I'm excited, Tom. I can't wait.
yeah, it will be an adventure. We will see
It'll
what
be fun.
happens.
It'll
Yeah.
be great. You'll be great.
Do you want our extra polls?
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. I mean, if you
We're going to bring them, yeah.
Yeah, we'll bring him.
I feel like our strategy is going to be to briskly hike this thing.
That's
Yeah.
that's
I mean, that's honestly
That's
reasonable.
what we're going to
probably
do.
Yeah.
And like,
most reasonable thing.
I'm looking at this like it's a strenuous 6-mile hike
Yeah.
with some really ridiculously obnoxious hills.
What's that hill called?
I don't remember.
It's
Not
got
the
a
one-
terrible name.
Yeah, they all have terrible names. I think it's Throat Punch Hill is the name
I
of the
think
one that you're going
is that
up.
one
No.
Throat Punch?
I think the one you're
No.
going up is called Throat Punch.
That's nice. I like it. Yeah. But
Oh God!
what are we running for this week?
Well, I'm running for beer because I'm drinking a brand new beer from Black Flag, which is one of our local faves. We talk about them all the time, kind of like your Zeds. They did a small batch of a strawberry lemonade blonde ale. So I'm drinking that and enjoying the last bit of summer here.
Nice. Strawberry lemonade ale sounds delicious and delightful.
It is. It's pretty good. I am running for... So this weekend, all of us have races, which we'll talk about in a minute. But after we do our race, I'm going to hop in the car, pick up my brother, and drive down because I'm spending the weekend in Ocean City, Maryland with my brother and sister. And we're going to be all nostalgic, and because that's where we went on vacation when we were growing up. And in my head, it's one thing, but I think Ocean City is kind of a trash hole right now. But like, we're going to do a lot of crap that we used to do when we were kids. So it should be fun. Like, we're going to ride bikes on the boardwalk, try not to get mugged.
I was like, getting a broken bottle fight.
Yeah.
In a broken bottle fight.
I love it.
Like, in my head, it's one thing, but also kind of a realist. I know that it's not the same thing, but that's what I'm running for. I'm running for a nice, nostalgic weekend at the beach.
And I'm running for being home alone all weekend. God.
She
Is that
cannot
great?
wait.
Sometimes,
So
I
great.
mean,
It's
like,
so
sometimes
great.
you just want, like, time alone, right?
It's like, I haven't been alone in months.
Oh, God.
Like, in the house. Like, I've traveled for work. That's, I feel like, different.
Yeah, that is different than relaxing at home. I guess I was going to say for eating healthy, but I'm running for some labor pains because we have the labor pains race this weekend, and we haven't run in a week and a half, and probably done like 5 miles in the past month, it feels like.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot. We'll get into that in a little bit.
But I think it's more than we realize. Since,
I don't.
You're just being Debbie Downer. Don't be Debbie Downer.
I am running for salad, I guess. I don't know. I ate like trash in Disney. And then I ate the other portion of whatever his son didn't eat. And then we went to a toothsome in Universal, and I ate like the biggest piece of chocolate cream pie I've ever seen in my entire
It was
life.
like 10 inches
It was
high.
the
It was
size,
insane.
Like, it was bigger. Like, when I find a picture of it, when you put my hand like out with
It
like
was
my
the
fingers
John
like
Holmes
up,
of chocolate
it is
pie.
like taller than
Good
my
reference.
hand. It is huge.
I don't know. I don't get that reference.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Google John Holmes from a not work computer, and you'll be fine.
Oh, no.
Oh God. Okay, no. Anyway, moving along
it.
to my chocolate cream pie.
Is a penis just going to pop up?
Probably.
He was on the cover of WAD.
Oh God.
I think that's a wad.
Oh my God.
Odd.
Oh my God.
Let's move on.
Yeah, so I ate like just trash all week. Probably ate triple portions of what I should eat, and now I literally made myself salad the last 3 days, and I'm really sad. And salad sucks, but I gained like I've gained a lot of COVID weight or pandemic weight or whatever we want to
Pandemic
call
weight is
that.
not coming off.
No.
I can't. I can't.
And I am not a scale I'm not a scale junkie. I really am not. Like, I think that's something that I have about like the last, I don't know, 6-7 years of my life have taught me is that scales are just a number. I am strong.
Yeah.
I can run marathons. I can do all these things. The numbers should not matter to me. And while I still feel that way in some respects, at the same time, it is also difficult when
Your clothes don't fit.
So I'm eating salad. I'm running to eat salad.
Okay. That sounds delicious. So,
No.
eating salads is a goal of yours, huh?
Yeah. Yes. Eating a salad a day has been my goal this week.
You should get that goal.
I should get that goal. I have
The
2 more days.
review of WAD on from Time Magazine is WAD is a seedy, twisted, and creepily fascinating.
Oh,
Seedy, twisted, and creepily fascinating.
And now, it's time for our Will Run 4 Goal Getters. Congrats on making your goals, you getters. Oh, you rest of shit.
All right. Thanks, Neil. We always love hearing announcer Neil.
Not Ian.
Not
Not
Ian.
Ian.
Neil.
I don't know any of these people.
Gregory Ryan's goal it just says don't fall. So I'm not sure what he's doing, but his goal is not to fall. I hope
It's probably
Don't fall.
rocking the knob.
don't fall.
It's probably rocking the knob.
Our friend Robert says that he set himself a tough goal for a 5K road race He's coming up. He's looking to break 23 minutes.
No. Oh, my God.
Yeah. He said that his 5K PR right now is 23:05. And he's run just under the 24 half a dozen times since then. But he just needs to shave off that minute. It's just a minute. Right?
Right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ian. Speaking of Ian, he commented to our goal getters and said that his goal is to get Run Mike D to nude marathon live stream.
Hachi Machi.
Hachi Machi. Oh my God.
Should I breathe for everyone like I did in the video?
God.
Yeah.
This is a
God.
reference
No, we
to
should
the
not.
video. of
Yeah,
course.
we should not.
So.
Jennifer Cook says that that while her attempt to balance was a bust this summer, her goal now is to find it with the return to school and the fall routine. Raph, who we hadn't heard from in a little while, and he's been back, so I'm really glad to see him. He says his wife and him purchased a spin bike. They're going to make the most of it and build an aerobic base. That way they can take advantage of the cycling features on Strava.
Cool idea.
Oh, awesome.
Michael's friend Daniel, who he blocked that we talked about earlier,
Poor guy.
says that he completed the Tri-Zona Mega Sprint Tri.
Oh, God.
That's 200-meter swim against Lazy River, 3.5 mile bike, and a 1 mile. Repeat 3 times. What?
Wow. So it's like a triple try.
I guess so. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
try.
my
Oh,
God.
Tri-Zona Mega.
Oh my
yeah, that
God.
makes sense. So you do
the
that
hills
3
suck.
times.
Yeah, the hills suck.
So you run a mile and then get back in the water to swim again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
Sounds
that's
like
the that's the worst part of that probably is all of the transitioning.
All of the chafing.
Oh my God.
That's a lot of
Tell us
That's a
transition.
how
lot.
your undercarriage is doing,
That's
Daniel.
a lot of squirrels, not
Oh,
butter.
God.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my gosh. Okay, he usually runs 11-minute miles. His first lap run time was 14 and then went up from there, but he finished and he didn't injure himself.
Positive.
So, I
That's
mean,
it.
that's
the goal.
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Our friend Jay Hall says that she wants to finish the Baltimore Marathon, so she'll have to let us know how that goes.
Ah, mini Boston.
Yep. Run, Eat, Drink podcast. Amy, she wants to have a successful 5K in the Smokies.
I think they'll do it.
The Smoky
Mountains.
Mountain half marathon is this weekend, so they're doing the 5K, I guess.
It's awesome. They just got back from Alaska,
Yeah.
which I can't wait to hear about.
Well, you have to wait because I hear that their episode is delayed because Dana got a little cold on his way. Back.
Flight. Yeah, I was stoked to hear about the food and stuff in
Yeah.
Alaska, actually.
So they're delayed a week.
Cool.
All right. So WTACT is I don't know. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong and
Yes,
mispronounce
please
that, guys.
correct us.
Yes.
Yes.
But they are on week 3. I don't know who that is. They are on week 3 of the Beachbody 645 program, and they're going to finish all 13 weeks. You can do it.
Nice.
Perfectly Imperfect Maria, while she's not trolling us, her goal is to make it to September 8th, as it would be celebrating 100 days of running. So she's continuing that streak. That's awesome. She's walked or run at least 1 mile every day since June 1st. The goal is also to get Run Mike and Thomas Stover to say while recording this episode.
What?
I think that's
Is it
the
a curse?
B word. I
Yes.
think it's the B word.
I think
Yeah,
it's
we're gonna have
worse
to bleep
when
it.
I'm just reading normal words. Honestly, mispronunciation, and the fact that I'm like weirdly dyslexic with my numbers. Like I always say my numbers wrong.
Wait, so does it really have to get bleeped?
Oh, yeah, I'm bleeping it.
Oh man. Okay.
are you bleeping it to troll her, or because it needs to be bleeped?
Both.
a little bit of both.
Oh
Nice.
boy.
All right. Adventure to Paradise Fall. Oh,
I
R.I.P.
love that screen name.
That is awesome.
I'm not sure who that is. I feel we have a couple new listeners.
I love that. Walking for now while I'm on a 4 to 6 running ban post-COVID. Oh.
Gosh.
Speedy
that
recovery.
sucks.
Yeah.
So, walking's good. Baltimore Hun. Since I can't do the full marathon this year, womp womp, I want to crush my half marathon time from last year's Rockin' the Knob.
Yes,
So you'll
awesome.
see her.
We can't wait. Actually, if you're going to be up in that area Friday night, let us know, and we'll maybe try and schedule a
Yeah,
dinner.
we'll let you know when we get up there
Yeah.
and all that.
Cool. Jessica Garan successfully made it to Rocket at Riley Wilderness Park race in California. First 6K race. 6K, that's great. Automatic PR.
Auto PR, right?
And out-of-state race. Difficult terrain for this flat Florida runner, but the views were great and the weather wasn't 1,000 degrees. Also got second in my age group.
That's
Get at
awesome.
it.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Michelle finished her first half Ironman, which is amazing.
Oh,
Nope.
She didn't do it.
Oh no,
Read
she's
that.
hoping to. Oh no, she's hoping to finish her first half Ironman on 9/12. So I was going to say it's the same weekend you guys are doing Rockin' the Knob, but it's not. Weekend
The
before.
week before, yeah.
M. Harrell completed her goal of 150 running miles in August.
Awesome.
That's
That's
great.
a lot. That's a lot of miles.
Oh, and update on a past goal-getter. Maeve passed her black belt exam.
Oh, Karate
and
Chop's
received
daughter.
her Taekwondo black belt.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
That's awesome, Maeve.
So,
Or
And
is
we
she
also-
going to? Is she going to change her screen name to
she's probably waiting in a park right now to
Taekwondo
kick somebody's ass, basically.
Chop? Like what?
Yeah.
What do we call? If it's not karate, is it
Little-
Taekwondo Chop?
Possibly. Little karate chop. Well,
Karate
thank
Chop
you, everybody.
2.0.
2.0.
2.0. I feel like Diana was gonna shout.
Oh.
Were you about to shout something
Oh,
else
no,
out?
I was just going to say we did get a message from Chris and Lisa who went running in Colorado, and they said avoid running at elevation at all costs. So
Oh,
that was their warning to the world.
Yeah.
That was their advice. Don't run at elevation. Well, thank you, everybody, for being goal-getters again. Remember, always look for the sometimes interesting post.
Oh my God.
And comment on it. And always turn the sound on because you never know what you might find there.
Oh, God. All right. So I think we're going to just jump into our main topic today. So we all have a ton of races coming up in the upcoming weeks. So we were talking about if we're tapering, do we tapering, are we tapering correctly? So that's really what we wanted to talk about.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, to talk a little bit about Michael and I's tapering, we haven't run in 8 days and we've had 2 weeks off from Orange Theory. So we're doing it wrong because you're not supposed to quite go down that much, but it's fine. We'll be fine.
Well, the problem was we went to Disney, so we were on our feet like 20,000 plus steps a day for
I feel like
8
that
days.
counts as something.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was
Yeah.
the least. It's actually a little less than that because it was the least amount I've ever walked in Disney because they
Well,
never
yes,
actually hit
I agree.
20,000 miles or 20,000 miles. Oh my
That would be
God,
a
could
lot.
you imagine? 20,000 steps. But 17,000 steps for me is equivalent to like, what, 7-8 miles ish a day?
Yeah.
2,000 steps is about a mile, right?
But that doesn't include all the standing still either.
Yeah, no,
which
that's
is hard
true.
on your body just
God,
standing.
there's
on
so much
concrete,
standing.
You know?
So much standing. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think the one thing that I will say is that Michael and I have learned that tapering is very important because when we went into a race having not tapered properly, we DNF'd. So don't do that. Don't just not.
The post Rockin' the Knob incident, where we ran Rockin' the Knob and then ran 50 miles the next week, and then tried to do a 50 miler 2 weeks later.
So what is tapering, Diana?
Oh, goodness. Well, I didn't know because I always do it wrong. And I don't know. I've been reading about it, and everything about tapering really I know you're supposed to do it for a half marathon, but it really targets, it seems like the marathon distance. Like that's where I saw like the most stuff about it. So Runner's World, I won't bore you guys with reading the whole thing, but studies have indicated that tapering properly can mean a 3% improvement in performance. So that could mean shaving a few minutes off your marathon PR, which is good. So if you're going for that, tapering can help with that. And then I also saw, not here in this article, but a different article, that even tapering with like a 5K could take 30 seconds off. So that could be something for Robert if he's not tapering properly and he wants to cut a minute
that's
off.
Huge.
To help you trim some off.
Yeah.
So, let's see. So tapering allows the muscle glycerin. Oh, no. What is that?
Glycogen?
Glycogen stores to return to peak levels. Metabolic enzymes, antioxidants, and various hormones depleted during training to return to their optimal ranges. Muscles and connective tissues repair and strengthen, and the body's immune system improves dramatically too. In short, tapering allows the body to prepare for peak performance. So, and then it says the primary aim of the taper should be to minimize accumulated fatigue rather than attain additional physiological adaptations or fitness gains. So, it's basically to recover, and so that you have less to rest, so you don't have as much fatigue, rather than gain something from it. It sounds like
When I was a plan crazy person, when I had all of my spreadsheets and my like charts and my like plan that was on my refrigerator that had 18 weeks with all the dates and color coded with like red for my workout runs and blue for my easy runs and green for my tempo runs.
God.
I will say that I used to taper properly the way that like a marathon plan would teach you to, like where your peak week of miles is 3 weeks before your biggest race. And then you cut your miles slightly the next week. You cut them down even more the next week. And then you just do like a few shakeout, like 3 milers the week of the race. My best races that I've ever had were when I actually did it properly, like based off of the way a plan was, because, and I don't know about you guys, but how do you feel during those taper weeks? Like, do you feel like you're not doing enough? Do you feel like you're detraining?
I always feel like I'm not doing enough, is honestly how I feel.
The problem, I think, with taper is like you've been working so hard and all of a sudden it's like, all right, stop working.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this article from Runner's World, and it kind of gives like a breakdown, which we can talk about. But I'm also finding that my lazy running is kind of kicking me in the ass when it comes to tapering, because what happens is like I'll get lazy kind of in the middle of a training plan, right? So I'll say like I'll skip a long run, or I'll, instead of running 8, I'll run 5. So then I'm behind and then I'm catching up. So then I end up physically feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to run at least like 4 miles or 3 miles shorter than what the long distance one was. And so for my race on Saturday, I just ran 10 miles on this past Saturday, and I shouldn't have done that. But I was like, well, I have to like at least run something.
Mentally.
Feel, and so physically, I don't know if that was good for me, but I feel like mentally it was good. So I guess, I don't know. I think I have to learn how to balance that.
So let me ask you a question, because I could probably remove myself from this conversation immediately, because the farthest distance I've ran, not to take anything away, is a half marathon. And I will work up to a certain percentage of that distance, like almost up into the race, like a week before the race. Mm-hmm. Like, so just like Diana, I ran 10 miles last week.
But you never taper.
And I never taper. Mm-hmm. But like mentally, I want to know that I've done a double-digit race before I have to do one.
But have you looked at training plans that like have your peak mileage like 2 weeks before to do a 2-week half marathon taper?
That's typically what I try and do and have on the calendar. Mm-hmm.
And again, even for my half marathon PR, well, no, that's not true because the sub 2 that I did with Donna, I didn't taper properly. I ran a marathon the week before, but that's besides the point. Prior to that one, though, my half marathon PR was when I actually did a proper taper. And you have to say, in my research, tapering actually works, even though I hate doing it. in my experience in my body, because even now, sometimes I still find myself wanting to continue to run. Like right now, I'm kind of like feeling very not confident going into this race because while we did some good training and we picked up the Orange Theory, it's been 2 weeks since I've done anything and I feel like a lazy bum and like I haven't done anything, and I'm really scared going into this race that I'm going to not be able to do anything.
Yeah.
But it's really probably more proper for me to be resting right now.
It is.
Well, it's resting, and then I'm also reading, like, a lot of times I think when people hear taper, they're like, I need to just like stop running. And as I've been reading more, it's like not that. Like, it's still running, and even running like not significant distances, but you know, if you're running a marathon, still running 8 or 10 miles, just doing it really, really slow, or walking it. Like, it still wants you to do something, at least according to, I don't know, someone smarter than I am. I don't know who writes this stuff.
and I think that most plans that I have done successfully, I think, my old buddy Hal Higgins,
Henry Higgins,
Henry Higgins,
we are dumb.
He has the plans where it's again like your peak week is 3 weeks before, so you're running like your 20 miler or 22 miler 3 weeks before, but then that next weekend you're still running, maybe like depending on the plan, like if it's an advanced plan you might be running like a 16 miler still. You're dropping miles, but you're not dropping them that significantly, so
to nothing.
The next one, it might be like 16, and then the week before, you might even have like a 6 to 8 mile long run, like as your long run. It's not a 22 miler, but it's still a decent amount of miles.
Yeah, and this says the shorter weekday run shouldn't be much different than last week's, but shave off a mile or two off your longer midweek runs.
Yeah.
So it says,
which I think is also like, I do think that maybe I'm doing too little because, like I said, you're not supposed to just stop. But as Michael said, we were on our feet for like 5-6 hours a day.
Well, probably more than that, but
week.
but at least that straight each day, plus walking, plus standing. So
I'm trying to pretend like that's part of my taper.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, because there is a lot of fatigue in that because you don't normally do it. So I know in the past when I've gone on vacation to, like, say, Disney, where you're standing a lot, and also tried to run a full whatever I happen to be in the middle of training plan week, I'm like extra beat the next week where like my legs are completely dead the next week.
Yeah, so we wanted to make sure that we ran a little bit. Like, I wanted to run through the gates of Magic Kingdom. Not through the gates, but like through the like welcome area of Magic Kingdom, where security and the gates are, to take that front picture in front of the train station. So we went through the security, and then we took the new path to Grand Flow and went that way towards Poly. So I did want to run that, so we did make sure we got that run in, and then we ran one other morning, and then we had planned to run like a 5K another day, and we just kept putting it off because we were tired.
Well, I think the bed hindered our.
That's true too, because we weren't sleeping that well.
We were not getting any sleep.
We weren't super comfortable.
I mean, literally the one night I slept on the balcony at 3:00 in the morning.
He did.
In one of the chairs because it was so bad.
Was the midwind. Was there not a couch?
Connor was on the
couch.
Oh, Connor was on the couch.
Yeah.
So there was no couch.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have laid on that either. But yeah, so I think that kind of affected our running for last week anyway, because we weren't resting and recovering at night to be able to run. But it's hard mentally when you stop doing stuff.
It's also like hard to be motivated because we haven't been running. So like even yesterday, he's like, "Do you want to go for a run?" And I was like, "Absolutely not."
And I think it's okay to take a break too. Like you can't just.
I don't know.
Like
it's been bad. Last night I really was like, he was. Usually he's the one who's like, we'll talk about running. We'll get home and he'll be like, I don't feel like going. Last night it was totally like, I'm not going. I don't want to do it. I'm not going out there. It's not happening. I'm not running.
That's why I have to do it in the morning before my brain realizes what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even the girls asked me this week if I wanted to run, and I was like, or I could sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think not sleeping last week didn't help. But we did go to Orange Theory today, and I had like my worst class ever.
Well, you didn't feel good.
Something was off, like my blood sugar was off.
I could not believe I've never seen anything like that.
I was running a 12-minute mile on the treadmill, and I was like in the red zone.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
He was on the rower, and sometimes there are days that he doesn't even get out of like gray or blue on the rowers, and he was like in the green, the high green to like low orange on the rower. And I was like, something's wrong with you because you don't go orange ever.
And then on the floor, I was at like, my heart was at like 130.
Oh my God. Are you dying?
Yeah, so I had the worst Orange Theory ever. I even left early out of class. And,
he was like, I'm just going to walk through. I was like, just walk. Like, just power walk. Don't do the run. Just walk. So he starts walking, and then he's like, I'm leaving. I was like, okay, bye.
I was walking a 20-minute mile, and my heart rate wouldn't come down.
Oh, no, that's bad. Like, I'm next to people that are like, sometimes the person I'm next to, like, they look like they're a healthy person, and it always shocks me when they're like in red the whole time and it doesn't come down. I'm like, this person's gonna drop dead next to me. Like,
oh my God.
I just think it's just made me like, I never thought about heart rate ever in my entire life until I started Orange Theory.
I mean, honestly, you have a really good heart rate because I get into the red really easily. Like any hint of a hill, it's immediately up.
I can't get into the red. Like, it takes so much. Like, I have to be, like, huffing and puffing. And, like, I was running at, like, a 7.5 today. And I couldn't get into I was booking it. It was, like, so fast for me. Like,
yeah. Well,
like,
7.5 is, like,
for me.
A sub 8.
Yeah. So I was booking it, and I was like at 91, and I couldn't move into 92. But I'm convinced people next to me are going to drop dead because I was like, your heart can't be good because it goes up too high, and then it doesn't come back down.
You would think I was going to die a lot then. The thing about it, so for me, though, the thing about it is I go up immediately. So as soon as the sight of a hill happens, I go up. So today I was up. But then as soon as I start working, I get right down back into the green. It comes, it goes up, shoots up, and then shoots right back down.
Yeah, mine goes down pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just gets up there fast.
But I really thought that I could have avoided an Orange Theory conversation. But here we are.
Last episode, we actually didn't talk much about Orange Theory.
We only did one class.
I was proud of us.
2 weeks.
But I'm even thinking, like, because I think that, like, works into the taper as well. Like, I was thinking about going Thursday and Friday, or at least Thursday this week, and I don't think I am. Like, I think I might get up, and I think I might do, like, the elliptical or something for, like, 30 minutes or something in the morning. But I think that's all I'm going to do, and I don't think I'm going to do anything on Friday.
I wouldn't do it.
Because you don't want anything you have to recover from.
Yeah.
And since the thing about Orange Theory is you don't, because I actually
don't know.
I was wondering to him, like, I was like, should we do one before labor pains? And we're like, as long as we do it a few days before, but you don't want anything your body has to recover from. And since you have no idea what the Orange Theory class is going to be day to day, like, what if you're using a completely different muscle group that you haven't used in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Like, then you're sore.
I don't know. I was sore all last week. Like, you guys missed like a week of
good. Thank
BS.
God.
Like, awful.
Thank God.
Like, good workouts, but like really sore workout stuff that you don't do all the time. But I'm hoping that this additional like cross training that I'm doing and it seems to be helping, is helping. And if that plays into the taper, so like I don't feel as guilty about not tapering because I feel like I'm doing different things, but I feel like I should taper more.
Yeah, I mean, we have definitely learned that rest and recovery before a big race is important. So don't do rocking the knob and then immediately go into like a 50-mile race. That's dumb. Don't do it.
The other thing that I was reading about tapering is with your diet as well, like while you're tapering. Because, I mean, this happens to everyone I know, like when they do a marathon, they get sick like immediately after, or like sometimes even like leading right up to it. So eat stuff, it says, to really strengthen your immune defenses. You know, stuff that'll prevent a cold and flu as much as possible. You know, like your orange juice, your peppers, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Which is also part of the reason why I was like, maybe I should eat well this week because one, we just came back from a vacation, which also always makes me really sick. And then two, we're about to do a big race. So I was like, I guess I should eat some like lettuce and vegetables to make myself.
All you can eat sushi the day we got back.
Oh my God, we did.
I don't know. I need to drink a freaking glass of water. That was one of my goals this year, was to drink like half a gallon of water a day.
Gallon of water, right?
And I'm existing on Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke and beer right now. I'm dying from the inside.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing to my body.
I'm a pretty okay water drinker. When I travel, I'm awful at it, but I also have the bladder the size of a pea. So when we travel, I like on purpose won't drink a lot, but then I can tell how dehydrated I am for like the next 3 days because I normally drink. So I have a 24-ounce bottle and my goal every day is to drink 4 of them. And I usually get through at least 3 of the bottles, and then whatever cups I end up drinking along the way too, like from the Brita or whatever. So I do drink a lot of water, but on travel days or something, when something is happening, I don't. And this trip, I mean, other than you're really thirsty because you're in feels like 105 degree weather, I wasn't drinking as much as I normally do. Plus, I was dehydrated because it was really, really hot. So this week, I am pretty concentrated on flushing my system and drinking a lot of water.
Just clean it all out. Like I exist on coffee until about noon, and then I switch to Coke Zero. Like, I'm so much better at drinking water when I'm in the office, and since my job is like really remote, like I have to really work at it. So maybe that'll be my goal getters for the next couple of weeks, is to get back on the water train.
Yeah. No, that's good to do, especially before races, is make sure you drink a lot of water. But I felt that like it's just weird. Like you get into this mental space where you're not doing anything right before a race, and it makes you panic that you haven't done enough for the race.
Yes.
But then you also, like right now, I don't want to do anything. So I'm in a weird position because I'm panicking. That I haven't done enough, and at the same time, I don't want to do anything.
And we have done enough, and we have enough fitness over the past couple years that even if our training wasn't great, we still have done enough to complete the race. You know, it's not like, we're coming in with nothing.
That's a good point. Like, I don't know. Like, if I was running a marathon or like a longer, more significant distance, I feel like I'd be more stressed about tapering and making sure I do it correctly. But like, I feel like I'm at the point where like with very minimal training, I could go out and finish a half marathon.
Yeah.
So I'm not stressed.
Yeah. And it depends on where you are. I feel like a half marathon distance for some people would still be really daunting. But maybe they wouldn't have to taper for a 10K. So it's about where you are. Cause I mean, back a while ago, there's no way I would have been like, oh, I think I can get through a marathon with no problem.
No. And I've only been this way for like a year, if that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just everybody's at different spaces. On what they are doing at the time is all,
Yeah.
And what the goals are. Like for me at this point, I don't really have any time goals at the current moment. So, like, it's just about finishing races, really. I would like to get faster again.
I've been missing being fast. I've been toying around with a goal that that's in my head right now that I haven't brought up to anyone, including Michael.
Wow.
That maybe one day
secrets.
I will share, but I
mean, I still have a goal if I'd like to do a sub 4 at some point.
Yeah, but I think I have something in mind.
But I don't really
specific.
I don't know. I don't really have a super desire to do a road marathon anytime soon other than, Disney, which is, I don't even
No,
count,
I
really.
do now.
Do you?
Yeah. We'll
Are you gonna
see.
say
We'll
it?
see. We'll see.
Cliffhanger.
I know.
Just like Outer Banks season 1.
Wow.
We'll get
Are
there
you
in a
pogue?
minute.
Yeah, but it's hard mentally just not doing anything the week before a race and how it plays mental tricks on you. And maintaining confidence, I guess, is important too.
I think I'm with Diana, and I never thought I'd get to this place where I'm not scared to sign up for a half marathon.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to get there. I'm even toying with the idea of a standalone marathon, but I don't know if that's going to happen before Dopey, because that's going to be a lot of running that year. But my goal is to not feel like trash immediately after this race.
Yeah.
And we ran
good.
that 10 miler last week for a training run. I felt absolutely fine.
I felt
That's
so bad.
And so that just gives me the confidence to do a 12 miler. That's the distance that we're doing this weekend is a 12 miler. So
And the weather's
I don't know.
supposed to be really nice this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
there's all those. So just because I always find these funny. There's always all those memes that you see about tapering, from people who are tapering for their first marathon. The ones about warning marathoner and taper approach with caution. Caution, beware of tapering runner, maybe cranky, irrational, and moody. Because I feel like as you're getting close to your race, your anxiety is up. You're feeling like you're not sure if you're doing enough or if you should just be not doing anything. You're overeating or undereating. You're not sure what to do and you're just cranky and moody all the time and you're full of anxiety. So I just always find those really funny. I don't know if anyone else feels that way and or knows the memes I'm talking about that you see all over Facebook from runners and racers.
Well, it messes with you because you've been doing this thing for 8, 10, 12, whatever, 20 weeks, whatever you've been doing. And then all of a sudden you're just not doing it.
Yeah, you feel like you're going to lose it all.
You become really germophobic, right? Because you're I don't want to get sick. I've been training
Yeah.
for all this time. You cannot get sick. And so you're being extra careful for everything you do to make sure you don't get sick. You can't sleep. You're because you have anxiety.
Well, that's the other important thing about tapering is making sure you get sleep.
Yeah,
Because it helps you recover.
absolutely, 100%.
The night before a race isn't super important. If you, as long as you're not up all night or whatever. If you don't, because everybody that night before a race, nobody gets sleep.
No one
real
sleeps.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's that week before where you really need to get your good rest in.
Yeah, and there's coaches and stuff that talk about this on different podcasts and stuff that the night before the race, it's about being restful, not necessarily sleeping. Making sure that you're in bed and having a restful mind, even if you're anxious and having even if your mind is racing, you're still
And you can't
resting.
sleep, yeah, I know Jeff
but
Galloway
it's really,
said that. Mm-hmm.
It's really the 2 to 3 nights before that are more important to make sure you're getting those nights of sleep than the night before the race itself. Anything else?
No, I want to hear from everybody else. So as you guys are listening to this, shoot us a message or comment and just let us know, do you actually taper? Are you like us where you should be doing it but aren't doing it? Do you feel like you're doing too much of it like Erin and Michael?
Do you have anxiety while you're tapering I do?
Yeah, I think the anxiety is real. For me it is because I feel oh my God, I'm going to lose it. But I know I'm not going to lose it. I know the first couple times I understand feeling that way. Your first marathon. Oh my God, I'm going to lose it. Or half or whatever. But at this point, I shouldn't be feeling that way at all because it's I don't know. I know
It's
I
like
can
the
finish a
40-year-old
race.
virgin. Is
Yeah,
it true
it's
if you
like-
don't use it, you lose it?
I mean, I know I could take like a month off and probably come back and grind my way through something. You know?
Yeah. I'm going to post some of these memes that I found too in our stories after this. Some of them are
God.
funny after the episode drops.
So like this time before labor pains, I'm really not like anxious, but I am like, it just feels weird. Like I'm not anxious about the race or anything. I'm like, whatever, we'll get done what we get done, and that's it. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
kind of the place I'm in at this point, though.
It is funny, like, while I was, like, actually doing the bare minimum amount of research I can do, a lot of the articles and the questions about tapering were, am I going to get fat while I taper?
God.
Well, honestly, that's the thing. Like people
They were
don't
like, you
cut-
have to balance your carb load. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
say. People still like are eating like they're running the full 20 the whatever their
Yeah.
peak week is, and they're hungry like they're running because your metabolism doesn't just immediately slow down.
Yep.
Your metabolism speeds up when you're running that kind of mileage. So yeah, and then people carb load probably more than they need to.
All right, y'all. So let's talk something good.
all right, we're jumping into the Wayback Machine and doing exactly what we did when we watched that horrific movie on Netflix.
Guys,
And all of us are going to have the same something good. And I am so irritated because I hated it, but I couldn't stop watching it.
Diana, welcome to the Pogue life.
First and foremost,
can't.
For life.
first and foremost, no spoilers. But
Yeah.
we're talking about the show Outer Banks on Netflix, and there's two
we're
seasons.
not going to do any spoilers for this one.
No, we have
Okay.
to do spoilers.
You want to do spoilers?
For the first
Yes.
season.
For the
First
first
season.
Well,
season's
I
fine.
guess
And if they don't want to
it's-
listen, then they can turn it off
right,
because
just-
I
yeah,
have to
for
talk
everybody
about
who,
it.
yeah.
Okay, fine. So if you
And
haven't
you can believe
seen,
that. I'm sorry, Michael, but it is crazy.
if you haven't seen the first season, go watch it. And
And then come back.
And come
then
back.
come back.
Yeah.
But turn the
It's only
podcast
like-
off right now.
It
Yes.
only takes 2 nights because ask Diana and Tom.
won't stop.
Once
You
you,
can't
start,
stop.
you can't stop.
Can't
So
physically stop.
It's like
was-
Pringles.
I would just like to say this was our something good probably like a year ago.
Yeah.
And then Michael returned it to our something good last episode
Oh,
when
yeah.
we watched season 2.
Yeah.
And
so
so,
then I
Diana
was like,
and
yeah,
Tom
maybe we should
were like,
do it.
maybe. And then Diana hard trolled me again on Facebook and was like, what the actual F am I watching, Erin? And tagged me because she'd watched episode 1 and then started sending me aggressive messages about how terrible it was, like she did with The Good Place that she turned out to
Guys.
like. And I was like, listen, Diana, you just watch it till the next couple episodes, and I
And then
know
you won't be
it
able
is
to stop.
horrible. It's so bad. You don't even root for the main characters. It's awful.
I don't
but
know.
you cannot stop
You
watching.
can't turn off. And also, the thing about The Good Place is it actually got like good. It just got kind of weird in the middle. Like I thought the beginning was really good, and then I thought it kind of was funky in the middle, and then it got good at the end. This was consistently terrible, except the first episode is almost unwatchable. Like if you can get through the first episode, you can get through anything. Because
think-
I was
yeah, I
like
think I
halfway
remember
through the
that.
first
Yeah.
episode, I was like, we have to turn it off
Oh my god.
because it was that bad.
So for those that are familiar,
Why don't you give us a breakdown of what it's about, Tom?
it's basically about life on the Outer Banks of North Carolina,
Or Hawaii.
Which is a-
Yikes.
which is an island.
which I've gone to literally my entire life, and nothing looks like that. It doesn't make sense. There aren't locals like that. Like the whole thing
Diana,
is weird.
They're literally hunting for treasure, like lost treasure, like as though lost treasure exists. And you want something to be real.
It's like if the Scooby Gang came to life without a dog.
So basically, it follows these 4 kids. John
Are they
B.
kids though?
Well, they're supposed to be teenagers. They're supposed to be teenagers, but it's John B, Pope, JJ, and Key for Kiara.
Yes.
And they're the Pogues. So Pogues is
Pogue
the name.
life.
Pogues is the name that they give or they use to describe themselves, and they're like poor people, basically, on the island.
Yes,
They're
basically,
the greasers.
They're the greasers, and the Socias are the kooks. So the
Which I will maintain sounds like a racial slur.
hashtag race report.
It kind of does, actually. I'll
Every
say
time
that.
they said it, I
So-
was like, this sounds racial to
So
me.
the kooks are the rich kids.
Or the rich people.
Are the rich people.
The socias.
And so there's Topper and Rafe, Rafe.
Oh, Rafe.
and then
man.
and then Rafe's sister is a rich kid, but she's also kind of a poor kid because she falls in love with John B. So you have a bit of the Outsiders, you have a bit of the Goonies because they're searching for lost treasure,
True.
and oh my god, what was the third one?
One Tree Hill.
No,
Yeah, it's got to be like One Tree Hill.
Goonies,
Dawson.
Yeah.
Outsiders,
Yeah, Dawson's Creek-ish.
One Tree Hill. It's got
and Romeo and Juliet. I'll say Romeo and Juliet because
yeah,
it's like the
yeah,
Montagues and the
yeah.
Capulets
A
because
little
they're
bit,
star-crossed
yeah,
lovers.
yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
My critique of this show is every single episode is so intense, and what happens to the kids would be the culmination of any other show.
Yes.
It would be the final episode of
cliffhanging,
every
like,
other show.
season finale, right?
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
episode is a season finale.
Every episode is a season finale where you're like, this shit cannot be happening. This is not possible. Also, I maintain, first off, the actors are all too old, which Michael thinks is hysterical.
It is
Not
amazing.
only do I think the actors are too old, I think the overall story would be better if they were like younger kids. Like,
Yeah, like the
it
Goonies.
doesn't make
Like,
sense.
literally the
Like,
Goonies.
they're all like 17, 18. I don't know. It feels weird to me. Like they should be Goonie age or like Stranger Kids.
You mean like
Stranger
the
Things age.
28-year-old who is playing a 16-year-old who's an orphan, and the child services are coming after this?
Oh my
They're
god!
like,
when the
excuse
child,
me, man. Like, sir,
have you
you're
seen
gonna
a
have
kid
to come
around
with
here? Yeah.
His name is John B. And first of all, the Outer Banks is one long island, and there's like one main road, but they're evading the cops the entire time via car. So I'm like, how can the cops not catch these kids?
Oh my god!
Like they're constantly getting themselves into the worst possible thing and then getting themselves out of it in every single episode.
See,
It's
I don't even know
bonkers.
how could you spoil this really, because all it is basically the same thing every episode with people being chased, them doing terrible
Oh
things.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
All right. The one episode I would like to talk about is the episode where they break into this old woman's house. And the story is there's like a legend where like this old woman killed her husband with an axe, right? So you just assume that it's like an urban legend, and maybe like there won't be an old lady in there at all. Maybe they'll just hear some noises, or like maybe they'll go in and like the old lady's like secretly lace and she's misunderstood. This freaking blind old lady comes at them with, what the hell was it? It was like a fire poker.
Like a fire poker.
Yes.
And it turns into a legit horror movie for like 20 minutes of the show.
So like
Oh.
the whole
It's
thing
unbelievable.
the whole thing is the John B is basically he's trying to follow up on his father's legacy. His father was looking for a ship that sank
Shipwreck
off the
treasure,
coast.
yeah.
And it's like $200 million in gold or whatever. And they found the ship kind of fast. For as long as everyone was looking for this boat,
it was like
They
episode
found it
3.
found it
They found
immediately.
it. And then we were like, I guess it's over. Like,
Nope.
Where can they go
because
from
then-
here?
Because then the treasure was actually smuggled off of that boat and hidden underneath this old lady's house down a well. So they had to go down the well in the night. And
In a side
Diane-
shaft.
in a side chat, what Diana didn't mention is after the lady chases the blind lady chases these kids with a
Oh, God,
fireplace
yes.
poker, she gets a shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's like shooting
I
at them with a
forgot.
shotgun, and they make it away. They make it away, but like they never revisit that old
They
lady
never
in the show.
revisit her.
Like-
but they get the gold out of the house.
Oh my
And
God.
there's, like-
So
Oh God.
So the first night you guys were watching this, so you guys watched this in.
2 days.
See, the first day you guys were watching, and I didn't scroll all the way back to that part, but you were like angry like the whole time you're watching it. And like you're like sending messages like, I can't believe I'm still watching this. I can't believe we're still watching this. I can't believe. And then you're like, I'm still watching this. I can't stop watching this. And and then the next day we start getting the second day you guys were watching it. In the middle of the night, we just get a text that says, these kids are dumb as rocks. And obviously I knew exactly what you were referencing. That you guys, I'm like, they must be back to Outer Banks.
They're so dumb. None of their decisions make any sense.
Yeah, there's just a couple other texts. Like, every decision they make is terrible. The dad is hot and crazy.
The dad is hot.
The dad is hot. And
Yeah,
then
is
I
a
realized how
thirst
old
trap.
I was. I was like, have I reached the age where the dad is
The
hotter
dad
than any
is-
of the kids?
Yes, you have.
But the dad's evil, and they reveal that in an immediate episode. Like there's no like if you're like, man, I wonder if they're gonna do something about this particular thing. They do it immediately, but they do it to the nth degree. Like it's ridiculous.
And then the one kid smokes pot for the first time ever, and then somehow starts behaving like he's on crack. Like, no person who smokes pot has ever behaved like that, ever.
The little sister is a POS. She's the worst.
Yeah, because she's a narc. The little sister's a narc.
She is a narc.
Oh, God. Then this is when we got the text. We need to just talk about this like we did with that other thing, the Kristen Davis thing. So this is how this happened, guys.
It is so bad. It is so bad.
Craziest I've ever
But
seen.
you cannot turn it off.
Another
They're
great
so effing
episode.
dumb.
Another great episode is they had to go to the archives on the mainland
Oh, yeah.
to like do some research to find this gold.
Oh
And
yes.
so they take a ferry
To
across to the
Charleston?
mainland,
yes.
but like they're in like Pogue gear, so they all look. He looks trashy. The John B looks trashy. So they have to go into like an upscale ritzy like clothing store.
Yeah.
Basically, they did a Pretty Woman montage
They
in the
did.
middle of this
They
episode.
did. Yes.
And like they're like
For
he's
John
like trying
B,
on
yeah.
things, with John B. And I'm like, what is this show? It's amazing.
Like,
there was a
they never
makeover
met-
show in the middle.
Like, the whole thing, and a lot of times, like, when people, like, fall in love quickly like this in shows, it's usually like, well, they had a thing for each other in middle school, and, like, this thing happened, so they have a little bit of a history with each other. These two people
It's like Romeo and
literally
Juliet.
met and then fell so in love with each other that they were abandoning all reason.
Yeah.
And because they're so in love and refuse to, live without each other, the first season ends with them driving a boat into a hurricane.
Yes.
Like
literally
Dexter.
into a hurricane.
It's just
Because that's better. Risking death by hurricane is better than maybe having to explain that there was a misunderstanding to the cops.
You guys haven't.
There were no real
started-
consequences.
You haven't,
haven't started
season
season
two yet.
Oh my.
Oh gosh.
Oh my.
it's
You're
gonna
in
happen.
for a
It's-
wild.
It's a wild ride.
I just
If
what
I mean,
else
like,
could possibly happen?
honestly,
More has
like-
happened in this show than anything I've
Oh.
ever
like,
watched.
and I'm not,
Way more
no,
happens
even,
in season
not even a
2.
joke. Like, you think that this is action packed? Like, the thing, like, between in episode 1 and 2, a whole bunch of stuff gets quote unquote resolved in some way, and it's like insane. And so then you're like, well, where are they going to go? And then it gets more insane, and you're like, oh, well, that's where they're going to go. They just like made it more insane somehow.
Was there a
I don't know.
character in season 1 from Lost?
No,
No. Okay.
no, absolutely not. I know she shows up.
Okay.
No,
No.
yeah, no, I know.
Oh
Yeah, She showed. Yeah, that's
I
what
can't
I'm
wait
saying.
to hear
like,
your
the
opinion on this
thing-
character.
Oh my god!
I can't.
Can I just ask, do they still have the van that they never put gas in but drive everywhere they go?
Yes. The Mystery Machine may make an appearance or two.
Scooby-Doo.
It's amazing.
I can't. And then
It gets even better, actually.
it's just unbelievable.
But like you said, every episode of season 2 is the same, where every single episode is like a season finale.
Yeah, like legit. Yeah.
The one guy is on coke and then has all this issue with like the drug dealer, and then the dad goes and beats up the drug dealer, and then the kids steal the money from the drug dealer, and then the drug dealer doesn't show up for like 3 episodes, and you're like, guess they're not resolving that. And then he's like in the finale for no effing reason.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's amazing.
Guys,
it is unbelievable.
I have to say, it is amazingly unbelievable, though. It is one of the best, like the best, worst shows ever.
It's super fun.
I can't tell if it's self-aware or not.
I
Can I
don't
just
know.
say 2 things kind of related? So one of the plot points is that the hot, sexy, bad dad killed John B's father and threw him overboard. Okay, he kind of like knocked him down by accident, and John B hit his head. Like the old Big John is what they call him. Hit his head, and then he throws him overboard, like he's just dumping a dead body in the middle of the ocean. Big John B's father, who was left for dead in the middle of the ocean, washes up on the beach, makes a makeshift fort, carves a word into a compass. The whole thing's about a compass.
And then immediately dies. Like, why even build the shelter? Like, what?
And then when the only good cop on the island finally goes to arrest hot, sexy, bad dad, she says, "You're under arrest for the murder of Big John. You're a police officer arresting someone formally, but you're using a nickname to
Look, this is the Outer Banks. This is how
the
they
Outer
go.
Banks, man."
And why is that kid just John B? What is that?
And like, there's different parts of the Outer Banks. There's like the cut. We're like the I think the Kooks live in the cut.
No.
Oh
The Pogues live in the cut. Someone lives in the cut, and they always say, "Don't come back to the cut. You don't belong here." And then the other ones live in like the figure 8. I've been going to the Outer Banks for a very long time, and I've never heard these terms. I'm not from there, and I'm sure they do. I googled that. They do exist, but like, it's ridiculous.
And I know we've been talking about this for a long time, and I'll stop in just 1 second. The other thing about this show is these teenagers come so close, dangerously close to murdering each other every episode. My entire life, I've never come so close to murdering anyone. For them, it to happen in every single episode.
Diana's losing her mind.
I'm going into a murder rage right now. For someone to go into a murder rage so deeply in every episode in a different character, it'd be different where you're like, oh, that's crazy JJ. He goes insane and he fights too hard every episode. But like this episode, it's this person almost murders their friend in a fight. This episode, that person almost murders someone. And it's not even like I accidentally shot him with a gun, murder someone. Like they're almost killing each other with their bare hands. Like
Diana is like going crazy right now.
It's Pogue life.
Pogue for life. I'm glad you guys watch. Season 1's not nearly as fresh in my head as season 2, so I'm trying not like. I feel like I'm not talking that much because I don't want to accidentally say the wrong thing about the wrong season, and so I am like holding back a lot. But I am very excited that you guys joined the Pogue Life because
we'll have to
I
watch
didn't.
it. Yeah. Season 2.
And I was disappointed when Diana was so like, what the F is this? I was like, oh, is she going to quit? She needs to continue. And then she did, and it was amazing. And I'm glad that she did because we got this episode. Thanks, guys.
The next episode, we'll talk about how bad He's All That is.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, it's bad.
I
'Cause that
wanted that
deserves
to
its
be.
own-
I
its own
wanted that to be my
conversation.
something good until we started this whole Pogue Life
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
We also have a couple other ones.
Clickbait is
was
really
good.
really good, actually.
Surprising, and I would like you guys to watch it so you can all tell me whether or not you guessed the end, because
It is not trashy like the other shows we've
we
watched.
thought, we were thinking it was going to be like trashy, like Deadly Illusions type
Kinda
trash.
It was not,
and
at all.
it like turned out to not be that at all, and it was like a murder
It was
mystery
just
that
a
was
good, fun
actually
mystery show. Yeah,
interesting,
With
and the
twists
acting
and,
was
yeah.
actually pretty
Solid,
decent.
yeah.
And I'm not sure that I'd say it was like the best show in the world, but it was just
No, it was
surprising.
solid show.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So,
But he's all that. I mean,
insane.
thank you, Matthew Lillard, for saving the movie for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think you meant to say Addison Rae.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I have
All right, we can't go
never.
there. We can't go there. We don't
All
have
right,
time.
all
We
right,
don't have
all right.
time.
We're yeah. Seriously, I know we've completely blown out season 1 of Outer Banks. It shouldn't matter, because if
Yeah,
you
it doesn't
watch
matter.
if you watch it, you'll experience it, and
Yeah, and you won't.
And you won't
retain
even remember half of
You're
what
not
we
gonna
just
retain
said.
any of it
You
anyway.
won't remember
yeah,
half of what
yeah.
we said.
No, and it won't make sense until you watch it anyway.
yeah.
Yeah,
true.
this is true.
It's
It's
true.
all just words, you know.
God, didn't Rafe say he was watching it? He made some comment and said he couldn't get into it or something.
Did you say
Who did?
Rafe?
Rafe, didn't he?
Raph.
Oh, Raph.
Yeah, you're thinking about
Oh,
Rafe.
I'm thinking about
Oh,
Rafe on the
Rafe is-
show.
Poor Raph is now Rafe.
Raph is Rafe. But he said that he watched it, didn't he?
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
he did. Yeah.
Um.
And couldn't get into it.
All right. I think we've beaten that. I think we've beaten that as bad as most of the Pogues beat their enemies every episode.
Oh my god!
So yeah, I hope everybody has. I guess this will come out after Labor Day or on Labor Day.
Yeah, on Labor Day.
But I hope everybody has a good weekend and a good, long weekend. And this is Tom for Erin, Michael, and Diana. Just shouting out, rest in peace, Ed Asner. And from his contribution to Disney and Pixar, this is a quote from Ellie from Up. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory.
Aw.
I sobbed through Doug. Go watch Doug. The shorts on Disney Plus. Bye, guys.
Bye.
What is this? Why is this a thing? I'm sending this to Erin.
We might need to cut this out.
Cut
Oh,
it.
yeah.
No, it has to be cut out. But like,
It's fine.
This is Will Run
fine.
for After Dark.
we'll run for Wad.
Oh god.
Run Eat Wad podcast.
Oh no.
Sorry, Amy and
Oh
Dana.
god. No, we're cutting it all out. It's fine.
jeez.
Wad Run for.
So,
Wad run for.
guys, I don't want to go to bed at like 11:30
Yeah, oh, God.
again.
Yeah, we've
We've
been
been
going
going to bed
so
at like
late.
11:30.
All right.
Come on.
Okay.
Let's rein it in.
Go get
Let's bring it in.